Welcome back, everybody, to Coombs and Kuroba, where we were just about to talk about getting jiggy with it.
At least she got it out of the way early.
We were just about to talk about how Conker's Bad Fur Day ended up the way that it did, and if you don't feel like finding out on Wikipedia, you can find out right here, right now.
So, apparently, the game was originally going to be called 12 Days, The 12 Tales of Conker. And it was going to be another basic, cutesy, collectathon platformer, much in the vein of like Banjo Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64, just the sort of thing that Rare was really, really well known for at that time.
Yeah, I think I recall that was what it was going to be called. I remember seeing like screenshots for some sort of 3D game that was going to come out at that time.
Yeah,
Conker.
There are even a few like previews from some of the conventions at the time. I don't think a demo was ever released, but there are like previews of what the game was originally supposed to be floating around.
I think Barry used to be like an actual like squirrel the same size and design as Conker, but with lighter brown fur and black hair.
That I'm not sure of. But they did release at least one or two Conker games before Bad Fur Day on the Game Boy Color, one of which was called Conker's Pocket Tales. And that was very kid-friendly. Like, it was a very basic, adventure puzzle game. But the thing about it is, they got a lot of negative feedback, or not really, like, a lot of sarcastic feedback, I should say, from people who saw the previews and heard about what the game was about, who said, oh, it's just another kiddie game. And so Rare took a lot of offense to that and basically said, all right, if you don't want another kids game, we're going to throw out everything that we have so far. Which they didn't throw out everything. They kept some of the assets to making the game a little bit easier, of course. And basically said, we are going to make this game as raunchy as possible.
Really?
Rare, and they did.
Rare did that. Like, it was Rare's decision, just like, okay, if you guys are going to be jerks about it.
Yes, and Nintendo was not very pleased about this because this was, they had well established themselves as a very family-friendly developer at the time, of course. And so, they basically said, all right, fine, we'll publish it, but don't expect us to give it a very big push. And so the game did come out, but I guess it was one of the worst-selling Nintendo 64 games on the entire console, at least for first week sales.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people were really offended when they bought the game because despite the fact that it bore not only an M rating, but also had a bunch of independent warnings on it saying, warning, this game is not for kids, a lot of parents did end up buying the game for their children. Yeah, and I almost forgot the beaver again.
Yeah, fun fact, my mom was really against getting me the game because she saw all the warnings, but at the time I was super interested in it. I forget why I was super interested in it, but I was, and I really wanted to check it out. I really wanted to play the game, so I pleaded and begged with my mom until she gave in, and me and my brother loved that game. Like, we were disturbed by it, we were amused by it, we just had so much fun in so many different ways with that game.
Yeah, it was it was it was definitely surprising some of the things that game got away with.
So I just want to say one more thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where thousands of people can hear it.
So that thousands of people watching this.
Where they can hear it.
Okay, go ahead.
I know that you can't hear this, but maybe the fact that this is playing all over the world at this point, I want you to know you're not a bad mom because you bought me that game. I thank you.
And it just got heavy again.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I just felt like I needed to say that. Like, my mom went through a lot of stuff that made her feel like she was a bad mother because she'd let us get away with stuff, and family would tell her that she was a bad mom because she let us get away with certain stuff. And then they'd come in and try to discipline us their way, and I'm not going to get into this. What it comes down to is that a lot of my family sucks. or at least they did suck.
Welcome to Airing Dirty Laundry, the Let's Play.
And it just... There's a reason why I just don't communicate with any of them nowadays. Unfortunately. A big part of that is that I'm just socially awkward as all heck. As you've pointed out several times.
Well, it's the same for me, too.
Yeah. So... Anyways, Conker's Bad Fur Day, like, yeah, a lot of people bought it without thinking, just like they take their kids to see animated movies because it's an animated movie. It has to be for kids.
I wonder how many of them took their kids to, like, Sausage Party because of that.
So many, honey. I can tell you right now, so many. I worked at a movie theater, and I will admit, I was a little bit disgusted with how many people would bring their small children, not even babies. I mean, they did bring babies. Lots of people brought babies for some reason because they refused to hire babysitters, and they'd bring their crying, screaming babies to every movie. But bringing small children that are capable of thought to mature R-rated movies, especially ones like that. Like, the fact that they get mad when they go to a movie that they're not expecting to not be for kids and to have adult content. And they're like, oh, how could you have that in that movie? I didn't, like, the trailers didn't tell me that that was going to be a bad movie at all for my kids. But for something like Sausage Party, they just don't freaking care. It's like, oh, I know fully well what I'm getting into, and that's better that I know fully well that I'm getting into. Now I'm okay with taking my children to go see it.
Were you still working at the theater when Sausage Party came out?
I was not, but I have plenty of examples, sweetie. I have so many examples of movies that kids should not have gone to see those movies. Thankfully, we actually had a policy. One time we had a movie that was NC-17.
Really? They still made those?
Yes, it was Hatchet 2. Hatchet 2 is a movie that is NC-17 for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually aired that movie at our theater. It was a one-time airing. There was no like major announcements about it, like Fathom events or anything. But we actually did have people come to see that movie, and I stood guard outside that movie to make sure that no children, even accompanying adults, got into that movie. No kids were allowed in that movie at all, under any circumstances.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah.
I missed. Shut up! They're funny.
You dive-bombed right down.
Yes, I did. Thanks for noticing.
But anyways,
oh boy.
So, like, it was just interesting to me that, like, not only was I standing guard, I was making sure that nobody under the age of 17, like 17 or younger, got into that movie. So, one of the most interesting things about playing security guard for that movie was the fact that I had to check the IDs of half of the people that came because they looked like they could be young.
Mm-hmm.
2 people came walking up two girls. And I look at these small, young-looking girls, and I'm like, I'm gonna need to see your IDs. And then in, like, the most deep, mature, womanly voice, one of them is like, okay, sure. And I was just like, what? And she pulls out her ID, and she was like, one of them was in her early 40s, and the other was in her late 30s.
Really?
Yes. And
so they look good for their age, is what you're saying.
Yeah. They were Lolitas, like real world Lolitas. Like, they looked so much younger than they actually were, but they were fully grown, fully matured women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in all aspects. Like, I can't really say certain things. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't see them naked, but I'm sure that they were fully matured in other regards too.
Well then.
Like, no offense to those women. Like, if they are out there and they somehow hear this.
You really think somebody in their 30s and 40s, well, probably in their 50s at this point, is going to spend their time watching Let's Plays?
No, but still. Point is, like, there are things that kids should not be allowed to see and experience and whatnot. And it's amusing that some parents just don't freaking care.
Well, there is a reason why I feel like sometimes you need a license to be a parent.
Yes, you have to pass a class to be a parent.
Yes.
I can fully get behind that. But, so yeah, Rare made Conker's Bad Fur Day just raunchy as all get out of town, just to kind of spite the sarcastic reviews they got.
Of the previews, keep in mind. Like, I don't even think there was a playable demo of the game out yet. And people were already saying, well, this is not going to be good. It's just like Banjo Kazooie. What reason do we have to play this game?
Well, they gave them a reason. So you said that the first week's sales were not good.
Yeah, if I remember right, I can't remember the exact figures, but the game was considered one of the worst selling games on the N64 at the time that it was released. Got it. I'm good.
But did it, like, I know that it has a cult following.
Oh yeah, it was what is referred to as a sleeper hit. Like, it got really, really popular as word of mouth spread. I don't think it was ever considered a success sales-wise, but it did become, like, very, very well known.
Yeah, I remember in a game magazine that I got at the time, they had an entire article dedicated to pointing out every reference that the game makes.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie reference. And there are a lot in that game.
Oh yeah, especially near the end, where they sort of just give up and start making it all about movie references.
Yeah, Matrix, Alien 2.
Saving Private Ryan.
Well,
that was the war chapter.
Yeah, that was the war chapter.
But yeah, around the war chapter was when it really started.
I suppose. Eerie grew up.
Hooray! And now we finally get our Jiggy. In the worst way possible. That, Midori, was a fart sound effect.
I didn't hear it.
Well, yeah, because we've got the volume nice and low. That's one of the downsides of...
Kazooie ate it!
Yeah, oh. You know what? I never thought about that before. Oh, no.
Kazooie, no! You were such good waifu material.
Oh, God, Midori. Don't. Why you gotta make this weird for me? This game was a big part of my childhood.
You're welcome.
Are we just going to continue the body pillow discussion from our first time recording this?
No.
You sure?
She lost waifu points.
No. Oh no.
Oh
And down I go.
no! Oh no, down I go.
No, it's not as bad as like the first time I played this game because I was at the very, very top of the tree and I fell to the very bottom.
Did you die?
I had full health, so no, I did not die, but I did lose,
Oh, oh,
Ah.
oh, oh,
What?
oh,
I'd like to point out that I'm the one playing, not Midori right now, but she's the one who's reacting as if her life depends on it.
because it's funny.
I hate these guys so much. Okay. 92. See, this is what I mean. This is the worst case scenario for this level. I always forget where the last few notes in this world are. And I'm never sure if I miss some in one of the other places,
Maybe
or
at the top of the tree? You kind of fell, didn't you?
yeah, but I'm pretty sure I got all the ones that were near the top. Let me double check. Maybe they're in Mumbo's hut? I cannot remember. Because, yeah, we never went in here. Oh, maybe they're in Mumbo's hut in fall. I don't think I went in there in fall. So we'll double check that when we go. But, yeah, Mumbo's not in here because he's on vacation. And he left behind this very sarcastic beehive. So, yeah, I think the last ones are back in Mumbo's hut. In fall.
It's worth checking.
Yeah, I hope that's where they are. Because I'm going to be very upset if I mean, we have more than enough at this point to beat the game and unlock all the note doors. And I've never really counted all the notes as being 100%, just all the jiggies. But it's just very disappointing.
Do you need all the notes to get the true ending?
No, just all the jiggies, and the notes don't give you jiggies, so it's not that big of a deal if I miss a couple.
But getting jiggy with it gives you notes. Musical notes.
That was an interesting sound. I'm going to have to isolate that and hold on to that for later. Okay, so let's go back to fall real quick, and then we gotta go back to spring.
Why do we need to go back to spring?
I need to be a bee to get the last Jiggy out in Gruntilda's lair.
Ah. Alright.
So quick detour, go into Mumbo's hut.
Right. And then we get to be ourselves.
Why?
I appreciate
That's barely
He's
related.
joking on how bad the joke was, honey. I'm sorry.
It's barely related. Yep, Mumbo busy, sweep many leaves, no magic today.
1, 2, 3, 4. Da-da-da-da.
Yep, so I don't think we're going to get all 900 notes in this one, because I don't want to spend time hunting for those last 4, honestly.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate, but again, 96 out of 100 is perfectly acceptable. In my eyes, especially since we've gotten 100 notes in everything else, so...
Yeah, I mean, if I do a Spider-Man Let's Play, not gonna do a 100% Let's Play.
Well, that's an entirely different genre, too. Like, that's an open-world game that's full of busy work quests.
You didn't get that caterpillar.
Yes, he shall be spared. He will tell the others what he's seen today.
Don't you have, like, 1 or 2 on you still?
Yes, and they will remain safe as well.
Not if Kazooie gets to them.
This is true.
Please don't feed me to a predator. I am a predator.
Okay, going back to spring, we're going to transform into a bee, grab the last thing, and then we'll probably pause there for the end of the episode and the end of the session. We're nearing the 2-hour mark on our recording software.
Right.
You okay there?
Yes, I'm just stretching a little bit.
Oh, that's right. You haven't really moved a lot since we started.
I have not. Like, you've gotten up between little segments and gone off and done stuff. I've mostly just sat here.
Sat here reading manga.
Trying to read manga. You're never gone for long.
Well, yeah. Because, I mean, we want to get a lot of stuff done today.
Yeah. Are we still going to do a commentary?
Yeah, we'll probably do that afterwards. We'll see how we're feeling by the end of this game. We should have plenty of time, but I just don't want to overload you because I know you're not nearly as used to recording for long stretches of time as I am.
Yeah, it's like when I watch a really long Let's Play.
I have never seen this happen twice in one playthrough, and it's only happened for me every once in a while in some of them. Like, you can go through the whole game and never see that. Anyway, continue. Continue with your thought.
What was my thought?
It was something about, I said that you were...
Like, long stretches of time watching, like, hour-long Let's Plays, sitting through a class, or... like, just lots of other stuff. I don't have the attention span. I wish I did, but eventually I just start to get tired and doze off. Like, I have no control over it. Like, I can't, like, even if I slap myself, it doesn't help. I just keep getting tired.
And then your face is sore.
I guess.
Yeah, so don't slap yourself.
I don't slap myself that hard most of the time.
Yay! So that is official. We have all 100 Jiggies in the game. Pity about those last 4 notes, but hey, what are you gonna do? We found all the golden honeycombs. We found all the Jiggies. So we're gonna pause the episode here and come back, and then we're going to enter the end game. I'll see you all then.
Yep, I'll be there too, and I'll be awake.
Okay.
I'm gonna get something to eat.
Okay, sure.
That'll wake me up.
See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.